Hi, Abby. Okay, so this is the third and what should be the final video, final instructional video in the set of instructional videos for Celestial Sphere Qigong, and I'm going to pick up where we left off in the last one, which was in the prayer posture, integrating, really the beginning of the integration process for what we've cultivated, integrating at the heart, and we had held this posture. We hold this posture for 20 breath cycles. Okay? And I just want to hold it here for a bit. Remember, in these videos, I'm not necessarily going to be holding the postures for the length of time that I say that they should be held. It's for efficiency's sake. So after you're done holding this posture for 20 breath cycles, you're going to do is you're going to hold the form. This is going to be on the inhale. You're going to hold the form as you rise up just above the head, separating the hands, and then bringing them to rest, one above the other, above the head. This is the only time, I think this is the only time in the form where the hands cross, aside from the static positions like Zen Mudra. Okay? So again, prayer posture. On the inhale, rising up, separating the hands, and one above the other at the top of the head. And then on the exhale, you're going to start separating the hands, bringing them downward, and holding the sphere at the sixth chakra at the eye, okay, at the level of the eye. So the forehead is where it should be vertically. And then you're going to hold this posture for 10 breath cycles. And once you're done holding this posture, holding the sphere at the eye for 10 breath cycles, on the inhale, you're going to bring the hands in toward the eye. Then on the exhale, descend down the central channel, turning the palms outward. On the inhale, raising the palms, much like we did before, and then turning the hands and the arms outward. So this is the first time we're doing this. This is where we're getting into the salutations, the sealing salutations. So we're holding the sphere outward, offering the sphere. So it's exactly the same position as the previous one, except with the palms facing outward. Exactly where that form also was, at the forehead, at the eye. And we're going to hold this posture for 5 breath cycles. Now, when you're done holding this posture for 5 breath cycles, what you're going to do now is you're going to transition this form into opening the flower at the eye, like we did before. So bringing the arms together and holding the flower. Except this time we're not going to hold this position. It's just a transition. So from here, on the inhale, turning the arms into holding the flower at the eye, then opening the arms up, keeping the form of the arms, opening the arms up in what can sometimes be called Black Eagle holds the world, with the palms up. Elbow, the bottom and the top of the arm roughly at a 90-degree angle relative to each other. And you're going to hold this form for 5 breath cycles as well. And once you're done holding this form for 5 breath cycles, on the inhale, you're going to bring the hands up, raise the hands up, and transition them so that the palms are facing the top of the head. And now you're going to hold the sphere. Hold the sphere at the crown. And you're going to hold this position for 10 breath cycles. Okay, so I want to show you all that again. So from here, From the prayer position, the posture of integrating at the heart. You're going to hold this for 20 breath cycles. Then you're going to keep this posture, and on the inhale, raise the posture up and start separating the hands and finish with holding them one above the other, the right hand above the left hand, above the head. And on the exhale, descend while separating the hands slightly, and end by holding the sphere at the eye and holding this posture for 10 breath cycles. And once you've held this posture for 10 breath cycles, on the inhale, I'm to bring the hands into the eye, not touching, of course, not touching the body, but bring it in toward the eye, and then bringing the hands downward on the exhale along the central channel. Bringing the hands, so from this position, just want to make this clear. So you bring it in toward the eye, bringing it down toward the central channel, and then turning the hands so that it's palms out as we have before when we were lifting along the microcosmic orbit. So here again, bringing the hands into the eye, descending as we exhale down the central channel, turning the hands, and then inhaling as we go up, as we ascend, and then turning the arms so that we're now palms outward at the same form as holding the sphere at the eye, but now we are offering the sphere. It's in an offering position, and we hold this for 5 breath cycles. And when you're done with that, turn the hands and the arms inward to this monkey carrying fruit form, opening the flower at the eye. And you're not holding this position like last time, it's just transition. So from here, inhaling and out, spreading out. Black eagle holds the world. And hold this for 5 breath cycles. And then when you're done with that on the inhale, you raise the hands to holding the sphere at the crown, with the palms facing the top of the head. And then you hold this for 10 breath cycles. And then when you're finished with that, on the exhale, when you're finished holding this form for 10 breath cycles, on the exhale, you're going to descend down along the great sphere. So this is the next section. So from here, you're going to descend along the great sphere on the exhale to the dantian with the palms facing. On the inhale, you're going to spread the dantian and then bring the hands outward at a 45-degree angle, both vertically relative to the vertical and the horizontal. With the palms upward. Okay? So now we're holding forth the great sphere, and we hold this posture for 10 breath cycles. And now we're going to transition. This transition is a bit tricky too. We're going to bring the hands in on the inhale toward the dantian, and we're going to raise the right hand. We're going to keep the left hand here at the dantian, and on the inhale we're going to raise the right hand up to the thymus, the 5th chakra, and turn so that the palms are facing one another. So the bottom palm, the left hand, at the dantian, and the top hand at the 5th chakra facing one another, holding the sphere, holding the microscopic orbit. Microcosmic, not microscopic, okay. Microcosmic orbit. Okay? And we hold this for 5 breath cycles. And what we're going to do from here, when we're done holding this for 5 breath cycles, on the exhale, we are going to trace along the microcosmic orbit with the top hand and descend. And then on the inhale, turning the bottom hand, bringing it upward along the central channel and reversing. So turning so that now the palms are facing, we're holding the sphere in the opposite orientation. So holding the microcosmic orbit. Once again, reverse direction, holding this for 5 breath cycles as well. What we're going to do now, after the 5 breath cycles, on the exhale, we're going to trace along the microcosmic orbit with now the left hand, the top hand, and bringing it down to meet with the other. Back into the Zen Mudra again. And hold here for 10 breath cycles. When you're done with the 10 breath cycles in this form, on the inhale, I'm going to separate the hands, palms facing inward. On the inhale, expanding. So this is all inhale, expanding the hearts. Bringing them together into the prayer posture or Anjali, integrating the energy at the heart again. This time we're going to hold this posture for 10 breath cycles. When you're done holding this for 10 breath cycles, you're going to again hold the posture and raise it up, except this time, oh, my beard got caught, sorry, okay. So you're going to hold the same posture, the prayer posture, integrating the energy of the heart for 10 breath cycles. Now on the inhale, raise the posture up, except this time we're not going to be separating the hands. This time we're going to raise the posture all the way up to the crown, descending and separating on the inhale now. I should say, on the inhale as we go up, and then separating the hands on the exhale to settle into integrating the crown and the eye in the sphere. And this posture, the arm formation and the hand formation is the same as we've seen before, but the position of it should be roughly 45 to 60 degree angle between the eye and the crown. And we hold this posture for 10 breath cycles as well. And then when we're done with the 10 breath cycles in this form, in this posture, on the exhale, we descend downward to the Dantian. Now I want to go through all that again. So, let's see what we have in time. Oh, that's good. Okay. So again, from the first Anjali, from the prayer posture where we hold for 20 breath cycles. Okay? When we're done holding this for 20 breath cycles, we ascend the form, separate the hands above the head, with the right hand above the left hand above the head, and then on the exhale, separating the hands, descending to holding the sphere at the eye. And we hold this for 10 breath cycles. After we hold this posture for 10 breath cycles, on the inhale, we bring the hands in toward the eye. On the exhale, we descend down the central channel with the hands toward the Dantian, then turn the hands, again at the flexure where the leg meets with the groin or the inner hip. And on the inhale, raise the hands upward, ascend, and turn the hands and the arms so that now we are offering the sphere at the eye, at the same position, with the palms facing outward. And we hold this posture for 5 breath cycles. when we've held this posture for 5 breath cycles, on the inhale, we are going to turn the arms and the hands inward, keeping the palms upward into opening the flower at the eye, or monkey carries fruit. Not holding this posture, just transitional, and then opening the arms so that they are now at your sides into Black Eagle holds up the world. And we hold this posture for 5 breath cycles. After you've held this posture for 5 breath cycles, on the inhale, you lift the arms up, turning the palms toward the head, so they're facing the head, and holding the sphere at the crown. And this posture is held for 10 breath cycles. When you're done holding this posture for 10 breath cycles, on the exhale, you're going to part the hands, descend with palms up along the great sphere, turning the palms inward now toward the Dantian, expanding along the Dantian as you inhale, and then exhaling, turning the palms upward. Holding the great sphere posture. And we hold this for 10 breath cycles. So, expanding on the inhale along the Dantian, bringing the hands outward at a 45-degree angle relative to the vertical and the horizontal, palms upward. The palms are at an angle, so the 45-degree angle is held. So, for 10 breath cycles, you hold this posture. And when you're done with the 10 breath cycles holding this posture, this is where we're going to begin holding the sphere at the microcosmic orbit. So on the inhale, you bring the hands in toward the Dantian, facing them now, turning the palms toward the body, and bringing the right hand up along the central channel, and now turning the palms toward one another as you exhale. To hold the sphere of the microcosmic orbit. And we hold this posture for 5 breath cycles. Once you're done holding this posture for 5 breath cycles, with the top hand on the exhale, you're going to trace along the microcosmic orbit with the hand, and then you're exchanging the hands. So on the inhale now, once the top hand reaches the bottom, on the inhale you're going to draw the left hand, the bottom hand, upward and exchange. And then hold this reversed position of holding the sphere at of the microcosmic orbit for 5 breath cycles as well. Once you're done holding this for 5 breath cycles, on the exhale, you're going to trace with this hand along the microcosmic orbit and bring the hands together into the Zen mudra that we were practicing before. And hold this posture for 10 breath cycles. Once you're done holding this posture for 10 breath cycles, you're going to separate the hands on the inhale, drawing up along the central channel, expanding the heart, and then bringing them together on the exhale into the prayer posture, or Anjali, and holding this for 10 breath cycles. Once you're done holding this position for 10 breath cycles, you're going to hold the form, raise up along the central channel. This time, my beard got cut again. Raise up along the central channel as you inhale. This time, holding the pattern into the crown. On the exhale, separating the hands and bringing them into holding the sphere between the crown and the eye. It's integrating the crown and the eye, integrating heaven and earth. So it should be at a 45 to 60 degree angle between the eye and the crown. And you hold this posture for 10 breath cycles. Once you're done holding this form for 10 breath cycles, on the exhale, you're going to dissolve the form as you go down lightly to the Dantian, and I'm going to transition right into the concluding seals and salutations. Now from here, what you're going to do is you're going to transition into the frog posture. This is just I'm going to go off camera a little bit because of the posture itself, but you're going to sort of crouch down into a full crouch with your arms lightly wrapped around your knees or your shins. It depends on someone's height and orientation. Okay, so holding a relaxed hoop. You don't want to lean into a stretch. You just want to let your body do what it does naturally. But into this frog posture or crouch. And you want to hold this for 5 breath cycles. From here, after you've held this for 5 breath cycles, on the inhale, what you want to do is you're going to raise up the legs and let the upper half of the body sort of slowly drop downward. So it should look like this, into a natural stretch. Now I want to point out here something important. This stretch is very familiar. It's practiced a lot, but when people sometimes practice it, they really lean into the stretch, really tense it sort of so they can get the maximum stretch. We don't want to do that in Qigong. We want the body to do, more naturally what it does with its own weight and its own energy. So as we do this, we don't want to hold the legs. We don't want to hold the legs or bounce or anything like that. Just let the arms sort of hang naturally. And also the back of the neck, you want to make sure your eye line is between your legs, parallel with the floor relatively. It's that you don't want to look at the floor, because then there's a tension, a compression that's created in the cervical section of the spine. So you want to make sure that that's straight. So again, from this crouch, after 5 breath cycles, and then upward with the lower half of the body. And you want to continue in this posture for 10 breath cycles. When you finish with the 10 breath cycles, on the inhale, you want to slowly raise your upper body upward with the hands going along the central channel. And you want to bring the hands outward to offering the sphere to heaven. This is offering the sphere to heaven. So again, upward on the inhale. And once your hands begin to sort of pass the face, the head area, you want to start turning the palms outward and pressing outward lightly so that it's essentially the same posture as holding the sphere between the crown and the eye, integrating the crown and the eye, with the palms facing outward. This is a salutation. So offering the sphere to heaven. So again, when you're raising up, inhale and outward. Offering the sphere to heaven with the arms and the hands roughly 45 to 60 degrees between the crown and the eye. You want to hold this for 5 breath cycles. And when you're done holding this posture for 5 breath cycles, you want to lightly dissolve the posture, turning the hands in to the chest, to the heart chakra as you exhale. Then inhaling as you expand the heart and bringing the hands and the arms outward into salutation to heaven. We did this before. This is the same posture with the palms up. And you want to hold this posture for 5 breath cycles as well. When you've concluded holding this posture for 5 breath cycles, you want to trace a circle in front of you. So as your palms are up, trace the circle in front of you. As you inhale, bringing the palms together and then bringing them in to the chest once again. So from here, inhale to the heart, expanding the heart once again, and then as you exhale downward along the central channel, spreading the root, salutation to the earth, gathering, and straight into our neutral position to conclude. Okay? So I want to go through that just one more time. So from here, 5 breath cycles, slowly upward, opening the back, eye line between the legs, parallel with the floor. 10 breath cycles, forgive me, 10 breath cycles. After the 10 breath cycles, slowly raise the upper body up. Inhale along the central channel. Exhale, turning the palms to offering the sphere to heaven. Salutation. Holding for 5 breath cycles. On the inhale, turning the palms, bringing them into the heart. And bringing the palms outward into salutation to heaven. And on the inhale, bringing the palms together, back into the heart once again, expanding the heart. Exhale, descending along the central channel, spreading at the root as a salutation to earth, gathering once again, and straight into our neutral posture. Hold this for 10 breath cycles to conclude, to settle the energy. And that's it. That's the entirety of Celestial Sphere Qigong. And that concludes the instructional portion of the videos. If you have any questions whatsoever, Abby, please don't hesitate to ask. If it would help for me to make an extra video to explain a particular part, or if there's like some kind of concern or question associated with any particular part whatsoever, I'm always most happy to help in any way that I can. Next week, I will make the video that I talked about where it will be just me doing the form silently, exactly as it's meant to be practiced from beginning to end, so that you can have that as a reference point for the actual practice of it. Because the instructional portions, the rhythm is kind of syncopated. So I want you to have a video where you get to see it and experience it, so to speak, exactly as it's meant to be. I hope that this finds you well, and that this can help you and support you in some beneficial way. And thank you very much. I hope you have a great day, Abby.